welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. You know what's our big problem today? It's that we are addicts. We are addicts to technologies. We use everyday social network, computers, mobile communication, internet. In our personal or professional life, we rely on information system. So the good news is that since this evolution in our society, companies were able to make better business, to communicate with their suppliers, with their customers, and to know more of their customers because they were able to store data about them and to make the right decision according to that. The bad news is that some bad guys took also advantage of this improvement in our society to destroy us and to steal data from our customers. So these villains are hackers and cyber terrorists. President Obama said in 2009 in his speech about cybersecurity that we all depend on cyberspace because we are all interconnected. So it concerns each one of us. So just a small talk about myself. My name is Charles Joya. I'm at the head of the cybersecurity department since 2010 for an IT consulting firm called Sogeny. And I'm here this morning to talk about three main points. I'm here to make you aware that there is a real problem, that we use everyday technologies which are not protected. So it makes us vulnerable to any intrusion, any attacks. Whereas there is a simple solution to that. Just hire a company like mine to make sure that we put like a cybersecurity culture into your company, that we implement the good measure, and that it will decrease the risk of a cyber attack or a data breach. Finally, some companies don't want to invest money in cybersecurity because they don't see the real outcome of it. But you will see that if you play like a role model, you will have more customers, and finally, you won't pay money, you won't lose your customer if you are a victim of data breach. So let's talk about first the problem. Do you know who this guy is? It's James Cook, the director of the FBI. And he said in one of his books that there are two kinds of big companies, those who've been hacked and those who've been hacked but don't know yet they've been hacked. So cybersecurity, cyber attacks is something that's happening every day to anyone. And you can see here on this table from the Computers and Security Journal that it happens to any sector. Like for example, this sector is the defense sector, which should be maybe the most protected sector. You can see that since 2000, there is an increase in cyber attacks. But if you take this chart, 1.1 billion of records have been compromised. So by records, we're talking about first name, last name, email address, social security number.
Around 10:30, you're right.
What am I supposed to do?
I'm going.
And turn it on.
The computer or a projector?
Projector. Keep talking.
So yeah, social security number, credit card number, any personal information. So if you took this number, 1.1 billion, just imagine in China, on its territory, there are almost 1.3 billion of Chinese. So it's like on Earth, every Chinese has been their records compromised by hackers. So it happens to big companies. Last year it happened to Google, to Yahoo, to Apple, to eBay, Home Depot. So it could also happen to you. And it even happens, if you heard about the news a few weeks ago, to the American government. So they had their Twitter account hacked by Islamists. So this is really something that's happening. I got my video just have to run, so. Sorry, guys.
What, I don't know what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to pass to the next slide.
Slides not working.
Is it frozen?
I don't
Hit
know.
escape.
Yes. And unfortunately, you won't have this guy. Oh, okay, so I'll talk about that. You won't have this guy to your side. I don't know if you have seen the movie Die Hard 4 with John McClane played by Bruce Willis. So did you have the chance to look at the video? So we're gonna just watch the video like a few seconds, and I would like you to notify the events or consequences related to cyber hacking.
I am doing the country a favor.
Okay. Can somebody tell me about events, consequences related to cyber attacks? Yes.
Wall Street.
Yeah, the stock exchange just crashes. So if you control the stock exchange, control everything. Yeah.
It can put us in a complete gridlock and we would have no idea what to do.
Yeah. Like they can control everything. You see on the TV, like the Capitol explodes. Imagine you're at the gym when you're watching TV and you see an event like this, but it's fake. Like it's, of course it's fake, but they can control every system with the computerized system. Like we see many car accidents, they can control the traffic lights if they decide to put green lights everywhere, so it provokes accidents. So just to show you the importance of the problem, that we don't secure enough our information system and that the consequences could be huge. So we don't have John McClane, he doesn't exist in reality, he's like an old school hero, and we are the modern hero. So we are the solution to this problem. We are here because we are experts, we are here to implement antivirus or procedures and to give you some guidelines in case of unexpected events happen. And if you don't, you will be just like this guy. So the definition by itself of cybersecurity is to decrease the likelihood of a cyber threat and to minimize the impact of a cyber attack. So that's what it does. And if you see on this chart, created by IBM in one of its reports last year, you can see that the number of security attacks and incidents decreased if you use security intelligence and if you put and in place the right decision and the right measures. So as I said before, some people, some CEO and CFO don't see the benefits of it because they don't see the outcome right here. They don't see the return on investments. But you will see the benefits because you will be maybe one of the only one to do something that the other companies don't want to do. So you can play like the good example, and you can be publicly recognized by the government, by the press, by the news. You can increase your network, have more customers. Customers will stay happy because they will still trust you if you are not victim of data breach. And think about it, like it could also become a part of the new American regulations. For instance, in France, since last year, we have a new military law stating that every big companies with vital infrastructure like energy, transport, medical companies have to protect their information systems. And if they don't, they will be fined. So it's just better to act rather than to react. It could be part of the new policies. So just to make sure that you are aware of this problem. We use everyday information technologies and it's not protected. So we are vulnerable. It could happen to you today. Cyber war is the war of tomorrow, so you have to act today. The solution is simple. You just have to hire experts in this field of expertise, hire a company just like mine, to make sure that some expert explain you the right things to do in case of something bad happens to you. And finally, as I said, you will gain benefits from it. On the long term, this is a long-term investment, so you really have to think about it and play like the good example role. So just I'm going to finish my presentation by asking a question. Bertie, would you give, for instance, your apartment keys to a perfect stranger? Of course not. Cybersecurity is the same idea. You don't want to let people that you don't know or that you don't trust get into your personal data or your personal assets. Thank you.